All right, so you know this man. Big win this past Saturday in the main event of UFC Vegas 27, a dominant decision win over Cody Garbrandt. Biggest win of his career. And now the big question is, where does he go from here? Let us say hello once again to Rob Fott. Rob, how are you, man?
I'm feeling good, man. A little beat up, but I'm feeling good, man. I can't complain. Got the first big main event under our belt. Now we're just on to the next one.
I mean, how does
How
it
you
all
feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Like I said off air, like I didn't just win a big main event against a former world champion like you did, but
Yeah.
feeling pretty good nonetheless. But I mean, how does the win all feel a few days later? Like I know you expected to go in there and win, but this is your first main event, and you went out there and dominated for 5 rounds. You broke all sorts of individual records in the process. How does it all feel now?
Yeah, no, it's a great relief. It's like kind of like you say it, you believe it, you think it all day, but when it actually happens the way exactly you planned it, it's even better. Now I'm just in a weird situation to where I don't know where I'm fighting next.
Yeah, it's such an interesting place, and I'm in kind of a funk trying to figure this out, because normally like I can predict like a path here, but considering where you're at right now, you got Sandhagen and Dillashaw, you have the title fight that's going to happen like at the end of the year. I don't know if the timing, you going first, was like better for you or worse for you. I can't really put my finger on it. So you're in a kind of a strange spot, but at the same time, you're just fresh removed from the biggest win of your career. So
Yeah.
we'll get to the future in a moment, but just overall, the fight seemed to go according to plan, because that jab was on fire. And watching the fight, I'm just like, man, poor Tateki Matsuda, who had to take probably 7 million of those jabs throughout your training camp. The jab worked to perfection. It seemed like the fight went exactly the way you thought it would.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you get to saw some of the sparring on the last session, and we we stuck to the game plan. Shout out to Teki Matsuda, man. He's the man. Like you saw he doesn't stop. So it's kind of like I owe him a lot more than a dinner and some money. But it worked out perfect, man. We just had to be smart. We had to be real smooth with our jab and our cross, and not go too big. I got a little big sometimes, but then obviously the corner reeled me back in, and I just I didn't get the finish, but that's obviously what we wanted. But that kid was tough. He toughened it out. He took some big shots, and I hit him with some clean shots. He wasn't going anywhere, but I mean, I can't complain. We got the W, we got in, we got out, and we're healthy. We got a couple bumps and bruises, but that's about it.
Was it almost better this way? Like having a 5-round dominant decision like that, like you can go in there and land the big shot. You had him hurt at one point, and it seemed like the fight might have been close to being towards the end, but you just continued on and you got better. Like the stats numbers just kept getting better and better. The striking discrepancies were getting wider and wider as the fight went on. Is it almost better this way than going out there and getting a quick finish?
I do. I think it kind of like it puts it in people's minds that I can strike with the best of them for sure. It wasn't just a lucky punch. Some people think even like Cody's last fight, people were kind of saying that was a lucky punch. But I can get in there. Cardio is definitely not an issue. I definitely believe I get better throughout the rounds. Again, shout out to my sparring partners. The way that they push me is, I get pushed so hard in sparring that the fight's just another day for me. I think it definitely worked out better this way because, I got the experience of the full 5 rounds. I know I can go 5 rounds at a high pace, at a high clip, and still with a dangerous striker at that. Nobody stands in front of Cody like that and survives that long, and I took some of his shots. He took my shots, and we both went at it. But I was a little bit more fresher and more. I think I had a lot more energy and just I was a little more enthusiastic than he was on that night. And that's what comes with the territory. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off, and I definitely was on Saturday night.
You told me, and I know you did a bunch of other interviews along the way, that your plan was obviously you wanted to get a second round finish, but this probably worked out better. But you wanted to get him angry. You wanted to piss him off. You wanted to get him back in that place. It seemed like maybe early in the 5th round, we kind of saw that guy, but I think that was more of a dude who realized he needed a finish more than just getting angry. But were you surprised that he didn't really get out of that zone at all?
He didn't. He had a quick burst in the 5th round. That was it. But even then, he stayed technical, and it was all right, fine. If you're going to stay technical, that's fine. But you can't be that technical with me. You know, like I'm just too long, especially when you're that much behind. You know, it was just like, just be smart, don't get hit with the big shots. And he felt it too. He could feel like he went big with the burst, and after that, and I grabbed him. I could feel him like, oh, fuck, like he like not necessarily quitting, but tired. You know, like he was tired. He was in there the whole time, but he was just tired. The energy wasn't there the same, and it wasn't that big burst of Cody that you're used to. It wasn't coming out the same in that 5th round.
One of the things I thought about breaking down the fight, because I will say, Rob, we do our staff picks heading into these fights like the day before. I was the only one who picked you. Everyone else picked Cody. So there you go. Yeah, they left me on the island all by myself.
Yeah, no, they didn't get the behind the scenes look like you did, man.
I know.
You knew something they didn't know, man.
But one of the things I was thinking of, I was like, if Cody's going to win this fight, he's going to have to wrestle you. He's going to have to take you down over and over again. And I was just talking literally moments ago with Tyson, and I told him the same thing. I'm like, when Cody took him down in the 1st round, I'm like, all right, this is probably like his best strategy to victory. And then he let me know, like, dude, we've been preparing for a wrestler for like 4 months now. Like, we didn't know who we were going to fight, but we were ready for a wrestler depending on who we got. So him taking you down, that didn't really surprise you at all, did it?
No, at all. We knew. Listen, once we get him shooting, we're doing our job right. And yeah, like I said, we brought in wrestlers. We've been wrestling since we got the call. You know, it was like, and we knew he was tired out, even if he got a couple of takedowns. You know, I'm not the best wrestler, but I'm decent at wrestling. But I'm even harder to hold down and submit. You know, people forget I started at jiu-jitsu class and jiu-jitsu school. You know, so like I naturally. I'm decent on the ground, not the best wrestler, but once it goes there, I'm well educated there as well. And you know, we knew he'll get tired, and eventually the shots got a lot slower.
I'm trying to remember. I'm looking up the scorecard right now because I knew there was like one. I think it was maybe this fight. There's one scorecard that drove me crazy. Was there a 48-47 in this one?
I think so. At first,
how the hell is that possible?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I do not know. Vegas is wild, man. I think so. I gotta go back and watch it, but I think somebody gave it to him. Like, makes no sense.
Yeah,
I think maybe he could have squeaked out the 1st round, but even then, I think a lot of people gave me that round as well. But that was it.
Yeah, I thought the 1st round was the closest, and I think the judge may have given him the 5th round. But like, if you look at the numbers, like he started off hot, but I mean, you like tripled him up on strikes in that round.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tateki, man.
Yeah, poor Tateki. I mean, have you talked to him at all? I'm sure. Did he reach out to you?
Yeah, not yet. But we're gonna probably get together soon, probably this weekend, and hang out and chop it up a little bit. Take
him to the driving range, hit some golf balls.
Get him out there.
Get him the extra large bucket for his help.
There you go.
So kind of going back to like the position you're in right now, it is really interesting because I know the Sandhagen Dillashaw fight has been reportedly rebooked for July 24th. Sterling says he's come back in November. Yan seems to be ready to go. So we have like these 2-3 months between all of these big fights, and there's you. And I'm not really sure how this is going to go. So just kind of in your mind, what do you think is the best case scenario for you?
Best case scenario, they give me Petr Yan right now, and we get it going. I doubt that happens. Maybe interim belt. I don't know. We'll see what's up. But give me Petr Yan. He's the only one that's available, and make it happen. You know, like the fans want to see exciting fights. I know that's an exciting fight. And then I'll take care of the belt for him. He just sit back. Don't worry about the belt. I'll take care of it for him, man. But or the winner of the loser or winner, whoever, of the obviously Cory Sandhagen fight. Definitely don't want to wait that long either, though. As far as like, again, you never know what happens. Whoever gets hurt or injured in that fight, it's another waiting list I could potentially be on. But realistically, I know I don't want to fight backwards. So like, I'll be patient. I've sat a year. I know what it feels like. I don't want to fight backwards. There's no need for me to go to fight anybody that's behind me right now. So
yeah, it's just a weird conundrum because you don't see this in any other division right now. Normally it's like a clear path, and when you have a win like that, we're talking Rob Font fighting for the title right now, but we got all these different roadblocks along the way. And I said this on my show on Monday, heading into Tuesday. I was like, I honestly think Cory Sandhagen, if this is done correctly, I think Sandhagen gets hosed more than anybody because of the delay and because of where this division's at right now. Because how I think this should play out, and it sucks for Cory, is that your fight with Cody should have been the start of this quasi mini #1 contender tournament.
Yep.
And especially with the fight not happening till November for the belt. So once that fight happens July 24th, they put you and whoever wins that fight on the same main card as the title fight between Sterling and Yan. One, because now we can have a #1 contender. We're showcasing the division more. And two, in case something does happen, we do have a contingency plan in place, which might kind of hose you out of the equation, but at least like you're on the card and we got something to get excited about.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's tough because like I know the champs. He just got back. I was talking to him earlier. When I was in Vegas, he just got back to kind of even lifting and getting back to it. So he's going to be out for a while. I don't know what the deal with Petr Yan, but if he wants to toss it up, he could definitely jump in there and mix it up if he doesn't want to sit out. But yeah, man, I'm in a weird spot, but a good spot. You know, and there's nothing but big fights after this. So my job is obviously lick my wounds, get back in the gym, and get prepared because it's going to be nothing but, again, it's either going to be TJ, Cory, Petr Yan, or the champ. So again, all the fights are tough, man. I got to get back to the gym and get back to work.
Do any of like the legacy name fights? Like, I know you don't want to fight backwards at all, but if they offered you a Dominick Cruz, or if like Jose Aldo beats Pedro Munoz, would that interest you at all?
I mean, yes. I mean, maybe the Aldo more than the Cruz fight. The Cruz fight, not so much. Yeah, he said he's nowhere near like near that belt at all. Jose, I guess, is a little closer. He has the name, but you know, nobody's dying to watch Dominick Cruz fight. You know, like if anything, I'd probably fight Shane O'Malley before I fight Dominick Cruz. You know, like that's the guy that's kind of like buzzing right now. He has that name, and shit, I can't wait for him to fight. You know, so it's kind of like nobody's sitting there dying to watch Dominick Cruz fight. You know, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind watching a Sugar Shane fight. You know, so I think he's a bigger name if anything. But then again, I don't want to fight backwards. If it comes down to it, I'm assuming, you know, the Jose Aldo Munoz fight will be good. If Munoz wins, I can revenge that loss, and obviously if Jose Aldo wins, that's a pretty big name that I can get in there, jump in there with. But realistically, I would rather wait and then see how everything else plays out.
We saw the medical suspensions get released out to the public, so we all saw what happened. And it looked like your foot was a little jacked up. How's it feeling right now?
It's good now. It's a little swollen. I think I kicked his elbow. I'm not sure, but it was just swollen. I thought I might have broke it, but it's fine. Now the swelling went down. It's just gotta have better aim with my kicks. That's it.
So if something were to happen, like, and I know you just fought, but if something were to happen and Sandhagen or Dillashaw can't make July 24th, are you down to jump in there?
100%. You know, that's the only reason why I want to, you know, obviously get back to it. That's a high-paced fight. Those guys bring it. You know what I'm saying? They're both super well-rounded, so I got to get back to it. And I'll say I don't want anything to happen, but if it did, you know, I'm the guy to call. You're
ready to go. You're like Ghostbusters, man. Give me a call. Who are you going to call? Call Rob Font and get him in there.
Rob Font, man. That's it.
I know you had like a crazy schedule getting back home, right? Like you didn't fly out to like super late on Sunday. Like how's your sleep schedule right now? Is it a little weird?
I'm a little jacked up. I was a little jacked up for a couple of days. We hung out for a couple more hours Sunday and left Sunday night. So we definitely didn't wake up and go straight to the airport. We just hung out, relaxed for a few, then I knocked back out. I was just like sleeping, recovering, eating everything in sight. But I'm slowly getting back to a regular schedule. I almost missed this interview. I'm like, wait, hold up, what time is it? I got up, but you know, I'm slowly getting back. I'm getting back to normal. Yeah, you got back to like perfect weather too. It's gonna be like, it was like 80s the last 2 days. It's supposed to be 90s out there today, but then it's gonna like drop back down to like the 50s all long weekend. This is crazy. Yeah. Fucking Mass has a temper tantrum.
Well said, Rob. Congratulations, man. Hell of a performance. That was something else. That jab was tremendous, and it just seemed like everything was flowing beautifully at the right time for you. So hopefully this all pans out for you. I am so fascinated to see how this bantamweight division shapes up over the next several months. But appreciate the time, man, especially a few days after the fight, and all the best to you, my man. Enjoy the victory.
Oh, man, appreciate it. Thank you again for having me on, bro.